Network of awareness makes your brain coherent. One of the fastest growing podcasts. You can hear it 24/7. We got listeners out in London, informationalists in Paris. The echo spreading out, no parrot. Just dissect, digest, and share it. The righteous rhymes hit the spirit. Click 90 times, it won't perish. Cause y'all's the mind ain't no fairy tale like the belly our parents. It's time to rise, don't get wary. United minds, it's apparent. Download every single errand, but most ain't fit to catch it, even if they were Larry. Interviews, the interludes, they enter you, taking you on a journey like no other. It places you in a state of awareness. It's your fault if you hate the truth, cause Yahweh's on his way, my brother. Better change your views. All praise, yeah.
Hello, positive people. You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, giving you in-depth information on society and culture in America and abroad, with messages of inspiration, with keen insights, reputable interviews, and much more. So now, without further ado, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast, Aura, the informationalist.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yes, yes. Peace and greetings, people. This is Aura, the informationalist. And we have a wonderful, wonderful show for Most High Mondays, people. And while we're getting ready for Most High Mondays, why don't we start off with a little bit of My Ears Are Ringing. Now, my ears have been ringing something intensely for several different reasons. And today's episode, in regards to those reasons, is that I wanted to discuss a universal principle, right? On Most High Monday. And that'd be June 6th. It's approximately 7:08 p.m. here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And I'm so happy for the people that are going to be joining this live broadcast, and for those that are going to be downloading the show after the fact, those that are tuning into the chat room, and those that will not be tuning in but will be in the chat room. So, welcome to Most High Mondays. I'm Aura, the informationalist, and this is the Network of Awareness, baby. And we are here for a specific reason. It's to talk about hope. Hope is a powerful, universal principle force. And it's very important that we understand it for what it is. Because hope is the path to faith. We're going to talk about that. I wrote a poem a long time ago saying how hope is the path to faith. Faith is the gateway to knowing. Knowing is the doorway to the infinite truth, which is love. And that's the Most High. The Most High is everything. He is love. He's all-encompassing in that which is and always will be. The Most High is the infinite truth. Hope is a start. And it's a very important principle to practice on a consistent basis. People that are enthusiastic, that practice enthusiasm, are very hopeful. We're going to discuss that, but we're going to talk about some other things that came across my desk here, and things that I've come across, and things that I've seen, and stuff that just caught my eye. Nothing too crazy, but stuff we need to talk about when it comes to the Alphabet Gang and when it comes to just overall propaganda here in the United Serpents of America. You know how we do. So I welcome you to tonight's show, Most Time Monday. And this beat is called My Ears Are Ringing. So, with that being said, people, I want to play a new beat just to get this rocking and popping and locking. Now, this beat, I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely a dance beat. Kind of like reggaeton. Definitely like reggaeton, but a little mixture of reggaeton with some, I don't know, I guess Caribbean sound. I don't even know what you want to call it. It's just a beat. Let me know what y'all think. I'm playing it early into the broadcast. All right. So here we go. I call it Tropical Tendencies. Let's give it a nice intro.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you.
Yeah, Tropical Tendencies. The beat is like 4 minutes and 32 seconds long, but just wanted y'all to get a little taste of it. I'll be playing it throughout the course of this next several weeks, you know, in the intermission sections. I'll drop it in there and out of there from time to time. But yeah, that's called Tropical Tendencies. Now, something that I came across by accident because I was checking LinkedIn and I had a lot of activity on LinkedIn, and I'm not a big LinkedIn user. I just recently opened up a new account and under the Network of Awareness as a business. And, you know, I've been checking up on some stuff. So something I came across on LinkedIn, that was an article, and I tapped into it because it was very interesting to me. And it was regarding the LGBTQ pride community. Now, I don't know if some of you are aware of this. If you're not, I guess that's a good thing. But, and listen, people, when I talk about homosexuals, I don't want you to think that I'm demonizing homosexuals at all, because I'm not. But I do know from experience of being around the homosexual community, they're not bad people, but the energy and the frequency of the behavior has it has a certain energy to it. And I can't say that it's bad, but it's not good. And the fact that that energy is being glorified is what I have an issue with the most. And I say that because I'm not trying to demonize human beings. Like, these are people too, right? And a lot of these people are in our family, friends, whatever. And even though we don't engage in the behavior that they engage in, we can still love them. You know what I'm saying? But all of us brothers and sisters know that this stuff is flaky. The behavior is not conducive to what a community and a society and as humanity as a whole, it's not healthy. It's not conducive to the growth of what that represents. That's a fact. Okay, disregard all the other stuff. That's where I stand. But I don't want people to think that I'm demonizing an actual person. It's not like I see a homosexual person, I wish that they die or nothing like that. It's just that the glorification of this choice, or sometimes behavior that's psychological and transmutes into this hormonal imbalance, or whatever you want to call it. There's so many different theories. But regardless of what it is, it's being glorified to our children. And that I have an issue with, because that was never the norm. Now, all of a sudden, supposedly with some, they're promoting this as somewhat of a progressive mindset, but it's really demonic. It's really evil in its nature, because it's socially engineering children to believe that this behavior is normal and acceptable when it really isn't. But it's being pushed so hard that a child is not going to know the difference. I'm going to talk about this article real quick. And this article is a great representation of many things that I talk about when it comes to the United Serpents of America. The United Serpents of America, remember, is a corporation to the core of it. It operates as a corporation because it is one. And this article I'm going to read is very interesting in how corporations conduct business. You see, when many of us talk about playing both sides, like I've talked about being the righteous hater, right? Our government and the corporatocracy that rules this corporation and all of its activities when it comes to money, they play both sides all the time. So check this out. As the LGBTQ plus people and allies celebrate Pride Month, there's a growing backlash to the duality of the commemoration. As USA Today and Forbes note, major companies are going all in for Pride Month. Yay! Yet, many of the same companies have donated millions to lawmakers who support anti-LGBTQ plus legislation. So basically, the same company that's supporting it is trying to abolish lawmakers from passing more laws to glorify and make it more part of common everyday society. That's the United States of America. Check this out. Despite Disney's initially muted response to Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, thousands of LGBT travelers who considered boycotting gathered for Disney's World Unofficial Gay Days, hoping to make a bigger statement. TikTok has named this year's LGBTQIA plus TikTok Trailblazers 12 creators who are a driving force in unlocking the power of creativity to make meaningful change. Their content ranges from personal vlogs and comedy to cooking, book reviews, and astrology. And listen, people, gay people have been around for a long time, okay? And it was always something that was kept in the privy or something that was just on the down low or had a certain place like sections and stuff like that. And it was okay back then. But now what they're doing is they're forcing that lifestyle into your children's lives. And what's interesting is that when I read this article, there's a lot of Republican politicians that are lobbying with the lobbyists to abolish a lot of these gay laws or prevent them from passing, because they're always trying to pass more laws, especially when it comes to the transgender community. And I mean, let's just keep it real, people. To be a transgender, I mean, you're going to get a very nice surplus of benefits here in the United States. So if somebody's desperate for money, a lot of times people will go down that route. It's pretty sad. It's like somebody who's going to cheat the system in order to get some form of disability money, let's say, right? There's a lot of people that do that they cheat the system to get a free paycheck from the government because they don't want to work or whatever. I've seen it plenty of times in the insurance industry. But it's not a coincidence that you have corporations supporting it on the front end, but on the back end, demonizing. And there's a reason for that. Because that's how the United States operates. They're always going to play both sides. Now, this is some type of article that was written on the top here from some girl named Anna Espinal-Rey. Earlier this week, I realized that it was 19 years since I came out to someone and wondered where my experience of trying to take it back would have been different if I seen brands and recognized bathed in rainbows at least once a month for Pride Month. But my expectation had shifted since then, and rainbow logos and once a year LGBTQ plus affirming messages don't quite cut it anymore. I want ongoing action even when no one is watching. That is the mindset of that whole entire community right there. That last sentence. They don't care. They feel like this is their time and they're not realizing why the heterosexual community is so concerned. Because I'm going to tell you like this, people, and it was like that guy that was on the, what show was that? The Dr. Phil show, where he was telling this transgender who had a full-on beard, long hair, earrings, lipstick, mascara, all that, right? With a full-on beard. And he's basically telling him, like, I can't wake up one morning and say that you now have to call me handsome and brilliant, because those are the two pronouns that I adhere to, that I answer to. And you, because I feel that I'm handsome and brilliant, now have to call me that. And it's the same thing. It's just a perfect example of what's happening, where people, it is the do what thou wilt principle, people. It's a Luciferian principle. Satan has principles that he follows. I wouldn't call them principles, but they operate in the manner in which a principle it comes into fruition, like from what the Most High has, like what we're talking about today. Hope is a universal principle. Well, they have to do without will, which means anything goes if it makes you feel good, if it gives you a sense of purpose. And what's happening is that this do without will culture and behavior is being forced upon those that have no business in knowing. And I'm going to tell you like this. This community, if you've watched, I think it's the second to last episode of season 1 of The Godfather of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker. Watch that show. Towards the end, there's a scene with the gay man. I've talked about this before, where he gives the whole blueprint and how they was going to infiltrate American society and the laws of the United States Constitution, engaging a whole boatload of civil liberties that were going to go their way, and they were going to jump on and they were going to piggy bank, or should I say piggyback and bank on the black struggle in America. You got to watch it because he breaks it down to the T. And I don't even want to mess it up because that whole 3-minute dialogue that he has with the dude that he's talking to, it is perfect. And it's just another prime example of what Hollywood reveals to you, which really is Satan revealing to you in the truth. They're telling you what it really is all about. So I wanted to start the show off with this. It's pretty sad that we're having our children subjected to this behavior so much at an age where they're so impressionable, where they soak everything up, where their critical thinking skills are not even developed. So anything that's going to give them somewhat of a happy emotion can trigger them to want to engage in learning more about that. And I just think it's so wicked to the core of it, but they're presenting it like it's something that's not wicked. And you just got to be careful, people, because at the end of the day, and I'll say it until my last breath, is that you can't have a gay person unless you have 2 heterosexual people that gave birth to that gay person. Enough said. So today's episode is about hope. Hope is a start. Hope is the path to faith. It's the pathway. Hope is the beginning, man. Hope is something that you never want to lose sight of, especially if you live a life that has a tremendous amount of adversity. Now, I'm going to look up the noun of hope, right? A feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. A feeling of trust. Well, you see, that feeling of trust and that desire for something to happen is your path to faith. Because, see, hope is going to bring you on the path, and faith is going to solidify and fill a certain level of contentment to knowing. That's the next phase. Because once you have faith, that's a strong amount of hope that got you there. And then that faith is going to turn into knowing, where it's like you now know. See, I'll give you a perfect example. I know that the Most High exists. I know that the Most High is Yahweh Elohim. I know that. Now, somebody can say, well, that's what you believe. Not necessarily. I know it to be true because I've had enough experiences for it to be proven to me. And whether it's a figment of my imagination or not, even if it is, it's something that my imagination has already broke through the barrier of any disbelief or doubt, to where it's like, there's been experiences that I've had on a spiritual level, things that can't necessarily be explained in words, not even in the English language, but in language overall. That is probably something that can only be expressed telepathically, for all I know. But it's a feeling. It's a sensation that runs through the body, that it gives you an exhilarating feeling that there's something more inside of you that actually has nothing to do with physicality. It's the same thing for those. If I could give a great analogy to the sentiment that I'm trying to express when it comes to knowing that the Most High does really exist, where it's that undoubtful knowing, where it doesn't have to be questioned. It's that feeling of a high level of happiness, contentment, joy, bliss. I mean, everything you could possibly think of at such a high frequency that's ineffable to explain, right? Can't be explained in words. The great example of that, for those that have experienced it, because only those that have experience will know what I'm talking about. But if you ever had a baby be born that's yours, right? And the first time, whether you see your child born or get to see your child right after they're born, there's a certain feeling there that comes over you that you can't put into words. And even if you try to explain it to somebody, I mean, you could probably give somewhat of a description, but you're not going to be able to give the description in its entirety, because that feeling is only you can experience it for that present moment. It can't be described unless you go through it yourself. And that's the same way I feel with the Most High being real in my life, because it's something where I can't necessarily express it to you in words. And I can give you an example of certain things that happened to me, and people can chalk up those situations as lucky, fortunate, whatever. But I know that the way in the sequence of my life and how everything has culminated and still continues to progress, and the way things have happened, and the way I feel and the way I perceive things, it's like I know that the Most High is real, realer than anything that I can possibly imagine that's real. That I know is real. And that's the knowing. But you can't get to the knowing, which is the knowing of the infinite truth, which is the Most High, until you start somewhere. Because some of us we have to get out of guilt. We still have to work out of a way all through these negative vibrations and emotions that keep us locked down. It keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us stagnant. Things like depression. And speaking of depression, people, I'm going to do on my Network of Awareness.tv on the Roku TV network and on my internet TV, I am going to do a short, probably like an hour breakdown of the documentary on E16 XXX or whatever his name is. I got to watch that and I felt compelled in my spirit that I need to do a breakdown on that. Plus other breakdowns I'm going to have, but that one's coming up. I'll probably do it at the end of this month to release it for July. But it's going to be an hour long of me just breaking down the documentary on certain scenes, because that documentary was very suspect. But the reason I bring that up, not to go off in a different tangent, is because it seems like the way Satan is infiltrating the youth today is through depression. There's so many kids that are gravitating to depression, where it's like, oh, life is so hard, man. And, I saw my mama get beat when I was a little kid, and, that's why I am the way I am. And it's like, yeah, I understand that we go through stuff as children, and a lot of us go through more severe trauma than others, right? Especially those that get molested and raped and all that stuff. That's, to me, is the most illest trauma to overcome, besides getting your ass beat by anybody in your family growing up. If you're getting severe ass whippings, that's another thing to overcome that's really difficult, because it's psychological trauma more than physical. Same thing for the sex. It's not so much the physical. The physical act is despicable, but it's the mental trauma that stays and lingers and lingers and lingers. But as kids, And I'm going to be 45 years old. I remember going through some stuff and feeling down, but to say that I was depressed, I think that as kids, we're going through the motions because we're trying to find ourselves. But we now have a culture where depression is cool. It's cool on a subliminal level where these kids gravitate to depression in the sense that there's an artist like Billie Eilish or this guy when he was alive and many others that are now dead or alive, whatever. They're all about that. It's all about, oh, I have these dark thoughts and I'm drawing demons and I sold my soul or I'm thinking about selling my soul and I'm having voices in my head. And this thing is becoming like a movement that I can only see when I look at it with my spiritual eyes. I see Satan in it. Like that's why Travis Scott was able to do what he did at his show, because all those people are gravitating, those young people are gravitating to depression. And nobody's really teaching them about hope, about faith, about compassion, about enthusiasm, about inspiration. If that was the norm, then that'd be something else. And then when they do try to spin that inspiration, nonsense that they do, it's always attached to some material, superficial thing. And then they try to sugarcoat it by saying, oh, I'm inspiring brothers to want to do better, get that money, get that bag. But they're not inspiring nobody. They're inspiring you to your own demise. That's why hope is a start. Hope is something that we need to practice on a consistent basis. Hope is the path to faith. Hope is the beginning. Hope is the starting line. Hope is where you're at before the gun goes off in the track meet. I used to run track, so that's why I'm giving you guys that analogy. I was a big track person. I love it. I love running, even though I don't run much at all no more. But it's something that I love. I learned, put it like this. I got closer to the Most High because of track. The Most High wanted me to be a runner. And my faith and my will, more than anything, got tested many of times. I hit wall upon wall. But as I got stronger, I blasted through those walls and overcame adversity because I was hopeful, faithful, confident, and just overall diligent in the discipline to want to achieve more, to want to give more, that even when my body gave out, there was something in my mind, which was really the spirit that pushed me once the body shut down. There was 2 races where my body shut down and I had 200 meters to go. And another one, I had 400 meters to go. One of them was a mile race that I was running at a good pace. And another one was an 800-meter race. And my body literally shut down after the first 400. And I had to run another whole 400. And then when I ran the mile, the last 200 meters, my body shut down. But there was something that pushed me. Because I couldn't feel my body. I couldn't feel my extremities at all. But there was something that pushed me to keep going to that finish line. Hope was the start of it. Hope has to be an ongoing desire for us in the sense that we really need to treat it like a superpower, like I mentioned all the ones before, right? Where I said these universal principles that I'm going to discuss, I perceive them to be superpowers because it puts you in a different frequency. And if you ever met people that are hopeful and they hope for things, that's a starting point. And many people that are like that wind up utilizing other universal principles. They're not just using hope, but that's one thing that they hold near and dear, because you got to be hopeful to be able to even flip your switch, so to speak, to a positive vibration. Because it's easy to be doubtful. It's easy to be pessimistic, and where you're going to like, and I know a lot of people like this, people. I got family that's still like this to present day, family that's real close to me, where it's like, instead of being hopeful for something, they rather see the demise of something before it even comes. They rather look at something negative that can possibly happen and focus on that. And the reality of it is that there's always something negative that can happen, but why focus on the negative? Because what you think about the most will manifest, right? That's a fact. That's a law of attraction. The law of attraction is a universal principle that's magnetic. It's just magnetism. It's the way the Most High created the universe. That which you put out, that's why karma is so real. Karma is just a universal principle of the law of attraction, of how that which goes in must come back out. And that which you put out, you will receive. It talks about in the scriptures, you reap what you sow. It's a universal principle. And so is hope. Hope is powerful, people. And it becomes more powerful when you are practicing it subconsciously, where it becomes second nature to your whole entire being. I take a deep breath, people, because I know that if we focus on practicing these universal principles on a regular basis, our lives will transform. The Most High created us to be in the image of the Most High, which makes us creator beings. We can literally create the reality that we want for ourselves within the reality that these demons are trying to get us to believe. And that's what makes us different. It's not even just about us being 1/3 of the world's population. It's more about being that which you know where you come from. Regardless of whatever percentage of people that are on that same page, it don't matter. What matters is that you know it. Who gives a how much percentage of the world knows this? The fact that you know it is really that all that matters, because once you become the embodiment and the example of that knowing that started out as hope and then led to the faith and then to the knowing, now that infinite truth is within you and you walk with it. And if we start practicing these universal principles, that's all that matters, is that we have it. And those that do, great, and those that don't, hopefully they get it. If not, that's on them. Because one thing I've realized is that there's a lot of information out there. The Most High is always guiding us to become better at whatever it is that our heart desires. And the reason our heart desires it in the first place is because the Most High put it in us from before we were born. It's our job to reconnect, like I talked about in We Are Orphans. We are all orphans in this world because we lost our father and our mother, and we're trying to come back to our spiritual parents. We're trying to find them. We're trying to find the Most High. We're trying to find our dad and reconnect with him and get to know him and get to know what he's about and get to know where we truly come from instead of what we were told. Y'all feel me? With that being said, let's take an intermission. It's about 7:45 now. And earlier I played Tropical Tendencies. I'm going to play Worse for Better, then a little bit of some other tracks. But I'm going to start it out with one of the newer beats that I made. So you tuned into the Network of Awareness, people. I hope that y'all really enjoying this broadcast. Shout outs to all the people in the chat room. I see y'all. Shout outs to Alkaline J, Mauricio, Brother Cook, Danita. Shout outs to my Queen Letter. And let's get it popping.
I built this shit, me, brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga dog.
Sometimes the best thing to do is walk away so you can protect your peace, protect your energy, and keep growing. You'll never be able to fully grow into your true potential until you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back and weighing you down. Yeah. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly, I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky, left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone. Been going through this journey of life, such a wild ride. So many ups and downs, so many that done drag me down. Had to let them go, lot of pain up in my soul, but I gotta keep going on. When you start waking, they say you change and start rearranging the way they start acting towards you. Turn they back on you, you said you never leave. Cut the heart up off my sleeve and just stepped on it. Should've just kept that shit, at least it would be beating. I'm feeling defeated, fatigue, I can't catch my breath. Just wanna collapse, yeah, I keep on running laps. Miss y'all, but no turning back. You said what you said and did what you did, so I gotta leave. All that shit can't be undid. I gotta leave, protect my energy. I gotta go, I'll forever love you though. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly, I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky, left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone. I'm so tired, but I gotta keep on going. I can't let y'all my wife or my son down, so I gotta keep on growing. Such a long journey, but a longer way to go. Can't let it go, my heart is cold, it's made of gold. Got to keep on pushing for my son. I'm the chosen one, was built for this. Why they say they love me, but keep talking shit. Not trying to complain, just venting empty in my soul. I gotta let it go, releasing, receiving so much favor from Yah, Shalom, Barakatah, I'm gone. I got to keep on stepping, just serving my purpose. Yeah, been going through trials, but fucking man, it's worth it because I'm only going up from here. Faith over fear, yeah. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly, I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky, left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly, I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky, left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone.
I stay to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our
Trapped in a world, where they don't want how you learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't wanna see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning. They don't want nobody having that knowledge. Waking up in a different light, got my mind right. It took me time just to put it together. You know you not learning nothing when you second guessing, because it all lies. They put us in school for 12 years plus. Got the nerve to give us a paper certificate. I've been watching quite some time. Finally, that I see what's going on. Every time that I lay down, yeah, I feel, yeah, sad.
I'll start out my morning run about 6 o'clock. Not like I got a choice. It's just it's rough.
Trapped in a world, where they don't want how you learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't wanna see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning.
Remember 6 6 a.m. waking up to get to class. Now it be 5 a.m. I'm rising up to hit them laps. School never taught me to be this disciplined with myself. All praise to Yahweh, been Yahweh helping me with my health. The spirit keeps me up even though we all packed in the jungle. Police be lying, they want you mentally trapped in a bubble. You see them smile on TV, always acting like they love you. Don't wanna see you rise up, they wanna see you ash and rubble. I keep my acts in humbleness in hopes that the Lord will favor me even more, cause he's the one that has my number. He's been my guide, he's made me wise. He's all I know until the end, I'm gonna grind. Looking up to the sky, trying to stay righteous with the storm on my side. The crown of life is my why. I'm asking Father, please help guide me to the light.
Trapped in a world where they don't want how you learn. No, they want everybody the same. Just look at, they don't want to see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning. Learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning.
Tuned in to the network of awareness.
How you doing?
Happy Most High Mondays. You know how we do. It's a song we haven't played in a while, a track called No Worries When With Yah. Why? Because there's no worries when with Yah. All praise to the Most High. Let's go.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
How you doing?
because it's the right thing to do. Forever grateful. Let's go. Georgia, I see ya. Thank you for all the love. Shout outs to my peoples in New York. Thank you for all the downloads. Appreciate y'all listenership. Shout outs to all my peoples in New Jersey. Shout outs to all the people in Illinois. Shout outs to Chicago. Shout outs to Florida. Let's go. We're in the Tampa Bay area. You know how we do it out here. Shout outs to all my peoples in Texas. Don't get reckless. Shout outs to Louisiana. Shout outs to the love of my life. Shout outs to Nevada, California. Shout outs to all the peoples out in Virginia. And shout outs to all the people out in Colorado and North Carolina. Shout outs to my peoples out in Tennessee. Shout outs to Pat Jones, doing it with the Cutlass Supremes. Shout outs to all my peoples in Arizona. We got an episode airing tonight on the newly changed podcast from Brother Oxakai called 101 with Oxakai. That's gonna be airing tonight, pre-recorded episode. The Whimsical Nature of a Woman, Part 3, I believe. Shout outs to Brother Cal, Slime Doe 23 in Arkansas. Shout outs to Michigan, South Carolina. Shout outs to all my peoples out in Washington, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Shout outs to DC in the place to be. Shout outs to all my peoples out in North Dakota, Maryland, Wisconsin. Shout outs to my southern peoples out in Alabama. You know how we do. And shout outs to all my peoples out in Oklahoma. Shout outs to Brother Yazan, one of the illest spiritual metaphor lyricists out there in the hip-hop communities. And shout outs to all the people that are left in the U.S. Appreciate all the love and support. Shout outs to all the people in Canada, India, Costa Rica, Germany, Barbados, United Kingdom, Mexico, United Arab Emirates. Shout outs to Australia. That's what's up. Y'all back. Keep it coming. Shout outs to Morocco, New Zealand, Paraguay, Trinidad, Spain, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Shout outs to Argentina, Brazil. Let's go.
I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way
made
I'm
mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches, cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions, cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching, networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain, with a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose to lyrically service the mental malnourished until I perish.
Yahweh's gonna save the awakened, then take him to an ageless haven. Patient, I can't stray away, gotta keep obliterating the pavement. Still remember that day on the phone, Mark, he said, yo, don't you take your foot off the gas, always something to give y'all praises.
We're in a dark oasis, countless cases, a peak of faithless. I'ma need the patience, defeat them chases. We seek his graces for true salvation. We keep on praising, we go on blazing these revelations. Cease aids, no altercations, good vibrations. We back to basics to build foundations. Y'all defeated Satan. I done made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches, cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions, cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching, networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain, with a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose to lyrically service the mental malnourished until I perish. People pursuing acts of violence, their persistent act of defiance, freely forming a righteous alliance, truly against the science appliance. On a mission with wisdom and guidance, steady defeating the ignorant science, sealing convicted and non-compliant. Spiritual wars, they're moving silence.
Let's talk about what matters. Drop the vanity. Folks out here losing their sanity. Kids popping off, lost in fantasies. People grieving over loss of family. The evil that be with the power, turning the people with credence to cowards, seeking to seize believers with vows. Many even Stevie can see that it's foul.
I done made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches, cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions, cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching, networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain, with a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose to lyrically service the mental malnourished until I perish.
Depression gone with every song. Music led by another echelon.
To get you strong, keep pressing on, long after we dead and gone.
From dusk till dawn, we're righteously armed with spiritual lessons from Yah.
We where we belong, we keeping on. The righteous with third of Zion.
Records embellished with heavenly eloquence.
Elohim's presence presently evident.
Intricate elements, infinite intelligence.
Spiritual specimens lyrically resonant.
The gift was inheritance, smaller percentages.
Carefully measured and meant to be shared.
With the message projected, cemented, embedded.
The sensible question is, what would you give from it? I made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches, cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions, cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching, networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain, with a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose to lyrically service the mental malnourished until I perish.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
How can you be out in the sun so long? Do you wanna take a ride to a Stargate Enterprise? Now I know you energized. Take my hand and lead me to your room. Tonight there's gonna be a full moon. You don't have to take off them drawers. Just sit down, crisscross applesauce. Now look me in my eyes. Now I know you're fly. Now I know you're fly. Ooh, baby, now I know. Together we can go. All we have to do is glow. Blast through this atmosphere. Better not have no fear. No demons can come near. Feel this heat, no hesitation. What a lovely levitation. What a lovely levitation. What a lovely levitation. Zoom. Main holder.
How you doing?
This how I felt since your youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly, yeah.
See, this how I felt since a youngin'. Before the kids and the thuggin'. Women be frontin', they use us. You ain't got it, they on to the next who got it. Looking for profit is pitiful, but the sea full of suckers is plentiful. How much money you making is critical. These women deceiving is biblical. So how do I play my part as a man in the sea with the greatest shark? I don't know why I adapt, hunting them like they hunting us. Live it up, always out for that bigger buck. Switch it up cause you never know, but you better know most of they lust for the devil, bro. Women's love can be bought with materials. Another one they won't play on the radio.
This how I felt since your youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly. This how I felt since your youth. I feel this way, I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly.
Let's fall in love later, make this money and moves. Build an empire, put this money to use. Yeah, there'll be wars, that's the moment of truth. But I'll ride or die to spend moments with you. There's nothing I wouldn't give, wouldn't do. Girl, it's much higher, see in my point of view. See, I burn for you, keep you warm in the nude. It's a sweet deal, you got nothing to lose, so go tell your friends that it's him again. Here with them gangsters and gentlemen. All other guys are irrelevant. Locked in this room and you don't even notice the elephant. Shit. Girl, are you blind? Cause I'm right here. Never gone, never left. It is quite clear. Cause all eyes on you with a tight stare. This could be a dream come true or a nightmare.
This how I felt since your youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly. This how I felt since your youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly, yeah. Acknowledge me, honestly.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Peace, brother. I don't have a lot of time, Take. They got the dogs on me. You know, they really trying to get me to take this science appliance, brother. And you know I'm not doing that, man.
Oh, where you at?
Not doing it. I'm in an undisclosed location right now. Up in the nature spot near that cabin I used to go to. But they got the dogs tracking me. They got the satellites. So They eventually gonna get here. I got it barricaded, you know what I'm saying? Cause the only way I'm taking that jab is if I'm in a bag, brother. So I just wanna tell you this before anything else happens. And I wanna get this out to you and let you know. Alright, brother, take. They're at the door. I gotta tell you, just listen, brother, just listen.
Now it's time to get out your own way. Allow Yahweh, today is your day to amaze in many ways. Cause it's just another phase in this infinite space where Yah be giving us grace. I'm working the race with diligent praise, unwavering faith. I'll be damned if I stray from Yah's will and embrace. Man sealed his fate with his ignorant ways. The world is disgraced, vibration has raised at a very fast pace. I'm present today in high frequency waves. No more being enslaved, all praise to Yahweh. A Hebrew warrior from the land of the brave. From the cradle to the grave to my very last day. Send a serpent to his cave, God favored my way. Never fearful or timid, it was written and given. No religion, division can stop a messenger that's fulfilling his mission.
They only get worse before they get better. But the story ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Hey, I can't stop and won't stop, I gotta keep propelling. Final destination is a room in the heavens. Diligence and militance, his will is my medicine. I can live without a half, but his love is my everything. COVID is on the road, got the world on its toes. So many sheep with their eyes closed.
Hey sir, would you like to take the jab?
Man, kiss my ass, stop living by what the news told you. You got injustice, brutality saturating the streets. Blood spilling for no reason, thanks to the police. Meanwhile, syringes are being taken with speed. Can't do it, you ain't sticking no vaccination in me. Despite all the chaos, I still manage to stay on the right path. Gotta keep my focus and my faith strong.
All day long.
Let spiritual music play on. All the honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh.
Things only get worse before they get better. But the story ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Can't stop, I won't stop. 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 Can't stop, I won't stop.
Life is an unpredictable and amazing journey. Our ever-changing conditions within today's society and the constant new trends influencing cultures can become overwhelming, to say the least. But no worries. The Network of Awareness podcast radio show brings peace of mind in these challenging times. Follow us on your favorite podcast listening app and join our community of Network of Awareness at networkofawareness.com.
And we are back here on Most High Mondays. Let's go. For some reason, I don't know why it's having this little bit of static on my, we was doing good for a while with this damn, audio interface, but for some reason it does this. I'm gonna have to like unplug everything and take out that sound or wherever the hell it's coming from. But welcome back to Hope is a Start. This is episode 16 of season 4. And let me get some water because I noticed I've been talking a lot. I haven't got no H2O. So I asked the chat room if you want to answer this question for anybody who wants to speak their piece here at the Network of Awareness for Most High Monday. That piece being, what has Hope been able to do for you? What has Hope been able to do for you? Have you utilized hope before? Have you taken the opportunity to really utilize the universal principle that can be used as a superpower? Right? And if so, please share in the chat room if you like, or if you have any questions, I'll be able to answer any questions you may have for this particular broadcast on any particular subject you may have. But in the meantime, as you can see in the info box, it says the Network of Awareness offers listeners an authentic opportunity for critical thinking with a common sense approach toward going deeper into the next level of truths and lies within the USA and abroad. For all my new listeners, this is what we represent. And we cover so many different topics. But our primary category now, I put out a promo, is social sciences. That is a category that I hope that you brothers and sisters can continue to support me in, because I made it my primary. The reason why I made it my primary category opposed to society and culture is because I started to notice that it was a subcategory that was getting a lot of love and getting a lot of high rankings. Right now, I'm ranked in the top 100 in Canada, and I'm ranked within the top 200 to 300 in the United States for social sciences category, and in Europe as well. In a place in Romania. Matter of fact, I was ranked like 30 something, 34 or 32 or 1 in Romania. So what I decided to do for the rest of this year moving forward, because I'm becoming such a leader in the podcast industry as far as rankings in the world for this particular category, I said, you know what? Instead of being so far back, why not go with the category that I'm making significant strides when it comes to being the highly ranked, most listened to podcast in that category, and I'm raising up in the ranks. And I did start working with a marketing agency that I've worked with before in the past, and I'm hoping that if everything works out with them, this thing with what I got going on with the podcast will make a significant dent within that category as I have. But why not hope for the best and push forward and really strive to be in that top 10, in that top 5 if I could. And it's not so much about the ranking, but with the ranking, I can reach more people. And if I could reach more people with this message that the light is within you and that the Most High is real, then I'm doing my job. And that's what I want to do. And I want to do it at high levels. So with your support, I know we can make it happen. Hold on a second, people. Let me unplug my microphone here for a second. I can't stand hearing that clicking sound, which I think it somewhat went away, but can't stand that, man. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, just know that I'm in the social sciences category and, looking to do big things, man. Moving forward, we got the TV network coming out in another week or so. So that's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of interesting shows. Like I said, towards the end of the month, I'm going to release an episode where I give a breakdown on that E16 documentary, because I found it to be very interesting how it's a prime example of what I've talked about in the past when it comes to a lot of our youth, a lot of our young brothers and sisters, even though they're not really technically selling their soul to Satan directly, a lot of them are selling their soul indirectly, where it's like they're allowing the demonic spirits that roam this realm or this planet to basically control them, subdue them, get the best of them. And then they take that energy and they put it into the music, and they put it into the music with these very low vibration frequency beats, and it triggers that kind of like that serotonin level that makes you feel good from a bad state. And a lot of times, because they promote this depression, they have no hope. They have no faith. They don't have anything that's positive because the negative is being made to be the positive, if you catch my drift. And that's why I like to do these universal principle shows. It's becoming a theme, so to speak. And give me a second, folks, because I'm going to put my light on. Okay. All right. Get my microphone here. And what I'm going to do right now is I am going to read some quotes in regards to hope. Give me a second here. Let me look for it. Okay, here we go. Now, technically, I didn't plan on this, but I felt compelled in my spirit to do this because I think this is going to really help us to get a better understanding of how powerful the universal principle of hope is and how hope is the start. It's a start. It's the start to that new beginning I tell you about. When you're living in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning, and hope can assist you in that present. It can really get you from the present moment to the next moment to something good, opposed to something that you're carrying with you that's negative. Hope is the start, right? So let's read some quotes from Hope. If it were not for hopes, the heart would break. None are completely wretched, but those who are without hope are few and are reduced so low as that. To all the living there is hope. For all living, dog is better than a dead lion. This is one from John F. Kennedy. It says, we should not let our fears hold us back from pursuing our hopes. Absolutely. The important thing is that we can live on hope alone, but that life is not worth living without it. That was Harvey Milk. That was that gay dude. Hope and patience are two sovereign remedies for all, the surest repulsals and the softest cushions to lean on in adversity. Hope is the major weapon against the suicide impulse. Refusal to hope is nothing more than a decision to die. If we must have hope or starve to death, man can't live 40 days without food, about 3 days without water, about 8 minutes without air, but only for 1 second without hope. Wow, I like that one. It's never been and never will be easy work. But the road that is built in hope is more pleasant to travel to the traveler than the road built in despair, even those that lead to the same destination. Wow. Hope is the belief, more or less strong, that joy will come. Desire is the wish it may come. Here's another one. Hope is the Hope is the parent of faith. I like that one. And it really is, people. It really is, because you have to have hope before you can have faith. That is a fact. Hope is the path to faith. Hope is faith holding out in its hand in the dark. Let's go. Hope is the faith holding out its hand in the dark. Let's go. Hope is a great motivator. No hope, no action. Hope is one of the principal springs that keep mankind in motion. Hope arouses as nothing else can arouse a passion for the possible. Hope is the first thing to take some sort of action. Hope is the anchor of the soul, the stimulus to action, and the incentive to achievement. Hope is a vigorous principle. It sets the head and the heart to work, and it animates a man to do his utmost. It is the around the corner brand of hope that prompts people to action while the distant hope acts as an opiate. Hope is the pillar that holds up the world. Hope is the dream of a waking man. Woo. Hope is but the dream of those that wake. Hope is not a dream, but a way of making dreams become reality. Facts. That one is super true. That's why it's a superpower, people. Hope is grief's best music. Hope is the last thing to abandon the unhappy. Ain't that the truth? I'm going to read that one again. Hope is the last thing to abandon the unhappy. The miserable have no medicine but hope. That's William Shakespeare. He probably didn't even write that. Hope is the second soul of the unhappy. Hope is the positive mode of awaiting the future. If we were logical, the future would be bleak indeed. But we are more than logical. We are human beings, and we have faith, and we have hope, and we can work. All praise to the Most High. If winter comes, can spring be far behind? There is no medicine like hope, no incentive so great, and no tonic so powerful as expectation of something tomorrow. Ain't that the truth? Wait, next year. It is the favorite cry of baseball fans, football fans, hockey fans, and gardeners. Hope and patience are two sovereign remedies for all, the surest reposals, for the softest cushions to lean on in adversity. Woo! Now here's some quotes about hope and fear. Hope is some extraordinary spiritual grace that the Most High gives us to control our fears, not to oust them. Woo! We can only control what we fear, people. I'll read that one again. Hope is some extraordinary spiritual grace that the Most High gives us to control our fears, not to oust them. We got to overcome them. The fears are always going to be there, people. I have fears to this day, but I fear nothing. You see, because the fear that I experience is always temporary. So I fear nothing because the fear that comes to me is only a temporary experience that I move through, that I don't stay complacent with, that I don't become so patient with, that I become complacent and accept it as my reality to where now the fear becomes permanent. And then failure will follow behind that fear to become permanent as well. And then we become accustomed to failing in the fear of not becoming that which we want to be. Where no hope is left no fear. There is no hope unmingled with fear, and no fear unmingled with hope. I steer my bark with hope in my heart, leaving fear stern. Woo. So that's a couple of quotes in regards to hope. Shout outs to Letta. Letta says, hope has allowed me to push through the most difficult times to see the more positive side of a situation or outcome. Facts. Hope is a start. And without it, where do we begin? We always need to begin somewhere. And when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. So that's your hope. That's the hope for a new beginning. And to hope to get you to that faith, because hope, like the quote says, is the parent of faith. And I truly hope that this episode makes a difference within you to realize that there is still hope. And if you haven't utilized the universal principle of hope, then start today. Start when you wake up in the morning. Be hopeful and let hope be the parent to your faith. And let hope be that strict parent, that parent that doesn't waver, the parent that's going to stick to their guns and make sure that you keep discipline in what you say you're going to do. Because hope can free you from any current misery or low-level vibration that you are holding within you. We have to be aware of our emotional and mental state on a regular basis, because our emotional and mental state these days, especially in the United Serpents of America, or should I say the United Shenanigans of America in regards to what I'm going to say next, is that there's constant shenanigans, there's constant distraction, there's constant ways in which this place, overall, the energy that resonates here is constantly trying to get you to be doubtful, to be fearful, and to become complacent to whatever nonsense they throw at you, like the science appliance and many other things. So I ask, what do you hope for? What do you hope to be? See, because I'm not really hoping to be something specific. I'm hoping that I can be all that I am for the Most High to give me grace and to continue to give me purpose to pursue with a passion. So what do you hope for? Because hope is the start, people. And I wanted to focus on hope today because it's very important to start something. And in order to start that, we have to be hopeful, and we have to be full of hope. Because hope ain't no joke. And don't be a dope if you're a dope if you don't got hope. Hope is a superpower, and it's one to not be taken lightly. So, this wasn't going to be a long show today for Most High Monday. I wanted to get this thought across about the importance of the universal principle of hope, the parent of faith. And throughout the past several weeks now, I've been giving these episodes about universal principles that are our superpowers. So here's another one for you to take advantage of and to make part of your daily life, and make it the universal principle that you can practice so much that it becomes a part of you and it becomes second nature. So I hope that this episode about hope has given you great substance to start something or to continue something. And with that being said, brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for joining this broadcast. I hope that the Most High continues to give you his heavenly grace to manifest wonderful things, not only in your life, but for the life of others, because we're here to serve. We're here to serve the Most High, and by serving that which we are serving each other. So I give all my praise to the Most High, and I salute all of you brothers and sisters that are doing the right things because it's the right thing to do. So this is all the informationalists saying, don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. This is the live broadcast. Hope is the start from the Network of Awareness. Peace, love, and light. Barakatah, family.